So let's continue on to problem 2 of homework 4. And what they're asking you to do is to replace one of the instruction in VESP. So they want you to replace shift right command. By the way, this is the typo. It should not be C, this should be D. So back in old VESP, when you want to right shift, you would type in D followed by 3 digits. But the problem is that these 3 digits doesn't matter at all, so they're kind of wasted. What problem 2 want you to do is to replace the micro VESP code so that the last digit actually matters. So let's say you want to right shift by 8 times. Then this will be D008, and it will shift it right 8 times. Writing the code is kind of like back in problem 1, where you just write the micro instructions for it. That part should be easy. The hard part is actually figuring out how to put your code inside of VESP. And that's what I'm going to go over with. So first thing you want to do is open VESP 2.3xm. Make sure it's 2.3 and not 2.2, because you're going to have a problem if you open 2.2. Anyway, scroll all the way down, like pretty far down, all the way to line 658. So all this code right here is pretty much telling VESP where does the micro instruction start at. So let's say I wanted to add, so I typed in 0000 because that is the opcode for add. Then VESP is going to be like, I need to add. I'm going to look at this. Well, my add instructions start at address 5. So I'm going to go down to address 5. And this is where my add micro instruction begins. So it's going to add. Then it's going to halt. Then the whole thing is going to loop back and rerun all over again. Let's say I wanted to right shift. So I did something like D000. VESP will be like, oh, I need to right shift. So I'm going to go to address 45 in decimal. So address 45 is right here. This is 45 in hexadecimal. And it's going to run this micro instruction. And this is pretty much the micro instruction for right shift. Then it's going to halt. Then the whole thing is going to loop back and rerun all over again. But what if I don't want it to right shift anymore? I want it to run some other micro instruction. What do? Well, I'm going to go back to the example I had in problem 1, where my micro instruction pretty much does a is equal to 2. So here's the binary, and here's the hexadecimal. So we got the hexadecimal. So instead of right shifting, I wanted to do a equal to 2 instead. The first thing I would want to do is pick a starting address. And I'm going to do that at the very end. And the starting address could be pretty much anything you want, as long as it's not taken yet. So I'm just going to pick OX50 as my starting address. So the first line of code is this. And my second line of code, address 51, is ret set equal to 1. So this should set a equal to 2, and this is my code. Okay. Now that you have your code inside of VESP, you need to change the starting position of one of your opcode. So my micro instructions start at address 50, so I'm going to scroll back up. And I want to replace the right shift command to run my code instead. So I'm just going to comment this out. So instead of going to address 45, it's going to go to my address instead. So OX50. So now when I type D000, instead of running this line of code, it's going to go to my address and set a equal to 2. And save it. And create a test file. So I'm just going to clear the A register. So load in the 8 register, the value 0. Then I'm gonna do D000, which should run my code instead. It should go to this address and run my code instead. Then I'm gonna halt the program. Okay, this is just my test file. So when this code run, I should expect my A register to be equal to 2 because that's what I've written. So compile your program. 0 to enter a program, start at address 20, read from file, test.txt, continue, continue, continue. And as you can see, my micro instruction ran and A register is equal to 2, just as I expected. And that is how you put a micro instruction inside of your VEST code. And let's go back to problem 2. So you got to write a micro instruction that's shifted right by U amount. And I'll give you a hint. The first thing you want to do is to read from the IR register. Not read. You want to load the IR register into the B bus. Because let's say if you type in D008, the IR will be equal to D008. Then the rest of the code should be you trying to mask out this number 8 over here and shift right by that amount of time. And that's up to you to figure out. And thank you. Bye-bye.